I'm Seth. I work for the YMCA, and I'm not here to talk about fitness or anything like that. I am here to talk about a program called the YES Program, which was started a few years ago and is actually a sort of a subcontractor under the Southeast Tennessee Development District, partnering with the Career Center. So we are the nonprofit partner of a government agency, which allows us to be a little more nimble, hopefully, than our partners, and take a place in the youth workforce development space that might allow for some adaptation, might allow for some local specialization, and that's kind of what we hope to do. What we do is try to connect youth age 17 to 21 to training, whether that's at a technical college, a community college, or a four-year institution. Invest in them as leaders, add to their soft skills, work on their job search and career development stuff, and then help them make connections. So things like career mentorship, worksite tours, and academic tutoring, we sort of try to act like the spider web that draws in connections for low-income youth in our community and connects them into the economy. We're here because we're in a growing economy, but our workforce development is not catching up with where the economy is growing. So over 50% of the positions in Tennessee will require some kind of post-secondary education, and this has received a lot of attention because of the Thrive to 2055 program that the governor's been pushing. But only 33% of adults in Hamilton County even have an associate's degree, and that's even lower in sort of outlying counties like Ray County, where Dayton is, Marion County, Bradley County, where Cleveland is. So we cover 9 surrounding counties, and to try to connect them both with employers in their counties, out in Marion, Ray, Sequatchie, Bradley, and with employers here if they're thinking about moving into Chattanooga, because that flow is still happening sort of into the Chattanooga area. And work required, and we do a lot of things because work requires more than just technical training. You probably know that if you hire a software developer, or you hire a designer, or you hire a warehouse worker, it takes more than the specific technical requirements of his job. So we're trying to add those extra competencies while we're working with the youth, while we're connecting them into the economy, to take that opportunity to add some things, to work on their soft skills. Things like conscientiousness, being self-motivated, is more predictive of educational attainment than IQ. And openness to experience is highly correlated with your IQ. Just being sort of open to the world and sort of welcoming to new experience is really highly correlated with how intelligent you are. And emotional stability, which is sort of the opposite of neuroses on the psychological scale, is highly correlated with getting and keeping a job. Interesting thing about that one is that the causality, as far as we can tell, goes both ways. The people who have had a job and have kept it for a while become more emotionally stable. So there's kind of a negative spiral that can happen if you lose or can't get a job, but a positive one that happens if you can be kept in employment. Then there are career competencies, that sort of thing. How to develop your career, how to make networking opportunities happen, how to survive in your job, stay on it, and work competencies. There was a presidential commission called the SCANS Commission a few years ago that defined the main work competencies needed in the workforce across any work job as being able to use resources, interpersonal skills, being able to use information, being able to understand social systems and organization, and then being able to apply technology. So those are just some examples of the soft skills kind of things that might not be taught at any educational institution where they go for their technical skills, but that we hope that all of our employees would have. Our particular curriculum goes through job search and retention kind of things, like resumes, networking, dressing, professional skills. We do some guidance and counseling, knowing your strengths, knowing how to set goals, what character means for you, time management, study skills. And we do some leadership development stuff. We talk about teamwork and citizenship and valuing diversity, those sorts of things. And we've been doing that for a few years now. And it's okay. But I think we're not sure we've picked the right competencies or the right things to really invest in the future employees of the companies in Chattanooga and the surrounding area. Others in the space who do similar things as far as youth development are the Chattanooga Department of Youth and Family Services, which does some career services as well as youth leadership development. The Urban League has a young professionals kind of a thing going on. Hope for the Inner City focuses more on adults, but also has a youth. They have an adult employment and a youth leadership, and those things kind of meet in the middle. And then Goodwill does for people facing a lot of barriers to employment, whether that's disability or poverty. That one. National organizations that do a great job of this are things like Job Corps, which has an intensive live on campus kind of a job training thing. Youth Build, which Chattanooga Housing Authority has done some things with Youth Build, where students have worked on building houses and got a job through that and gained some skills in the way. Jobs for Americans graduates / Jobs for Tennessee's graduates has a few locations around Tennessee that has really specific core competencies that they try to deliver to students, and they do a great job of measuring those, and we're kind of watching their model as they sort of understand probably better than a small organization like we do how to track and measure that. And Gear Up is one that is down in Atlanta that's pretty awesome. It has a year of work experience, mentorship, and connection to employers. So anyway, there are others doing great stuff that we're kind of watching. But we're in a place right now where we're looking for more connections, because the more we can network, the more we can help our students network. That's a lot of what I do, is I network for low-income students, help them find connections, help them maybe find a mentor in the field they're interested in, or go and visit their workplace, or that kind of thing. We're looking for people who might be interested in someone job sharing them for a day or a week. We will be next summer, this summer we got them summer jobs, which we paid their salaries, and they worked for local organizations and businesses. So if you're a person who might have some work over the summer and you'd like somebody to do it, who needs some investing in, we could provide them at no cost, and they could get a great summer work experience out of it.
You're saying this summer?
We just finished this summer, so it would be next summer, but we will keep that list ongoing, absolutely. And we're especially excited about nonprofits, but and sort of local institutions like that for that. But then input into our training model, which is what I'm about to talk about a little bit, because I kind of blew by that. But I'm interested in understanding a little bit more about what we're missing. What soft skills and personality traits really characterize an excellent employee, and what can we do to instill that in students? Our demographic is large. Our Hamilton County demographic is largely inner city. Then our outer counties, obviously, we've got rural folks. neither of whom, most of our population is not well connected to the workforce. Their parents might not be well connected to the workforce. Their parents may be experiencing long-term unemployment. The character traits or personality things that make for a good employee might not be modeled for them now. So one of the things I'm interested in is if anybody in this group has anything to say about that. What do you see in a good employee? And when you see a young person coming to you, starting their career, what do you want to see in them?
I mean, I think you covered a good amount of it with your intro. Because so much of it has to do with soft skills. Really interpersonal communication, I feel like, is maybe the most important aspect in a good employee.
That's one thing that I think you might want to go talk to the STEM school over at Chat State. I don't know if you've had any contact with them or talked to them at all. They do like a flipped classroom where they do all of their like subject matter learning and review lectures and take quizzes and stuff as homework. And then all of their time in class is group work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they can collaborate on tasks and that kind of thing. So you could maybe just go talk to them and see how they do that, get some ideas for that kind of thing.
They're like an alternative high school kind of thing?
Yeah.
They're like a magnet.
They're like a magnet school. Yeah. They're over at Chat State back. They go way back and towards the river. They're in a little warehouse building. I actually have a friend who's a teacher there.
Okay.
Yeah, so you could talk to them about that. As far as like the soft skills, besides what you have listed, which is all good stuff, I think like prioritization and planning might be something that inner city youth don't do.
Sure.
Because they operate on like a now mode, because they're so stressed out, right? With their home situation, that all they can think of is like what's right in front of them.
Sure.
But I know that when I got to the workforce after college, it was, okay, I have to sit down and plan out my week. And say, I'm going to spend it, what do I do first?
Yeah.
That kind of crap.
Right. Priority setting and scheduling, that sort of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
I think there's an assumption that young people generally are going to be pretty savvy, facile with technology, and the workforce you described probably doesn't have access to some of that. We talked about that, about having people in poverty, particularly, just don't have means.
Yeah. Well, and especially, our rural population, you'll have kids. We like assume, you can use the computer at the library or something. They're like, no, I'm miles from that. There's less of in inner city youth, at least there's some connection, right?
Yeah.
There's an institution they can go to or whatever. Often our rural kids, they're like, no, I don't have a computer at home. No, we live too far out to get the internet, or it's too expensive. So I found that, so everybody knows how to use Facebook. Fine, they find some way to find Facebook. I don't know how. But everybody knows how to use Facebook.
Hey, I was in Honduras and it's the same thing.
Yeah, you're like, how does that phone have Facebook on it? Right? But they might not know how to use Gmail, or have a Gmail account, or some of those more business savvy applications. I try to use the time when we help them write a resume to get it more used to Microsoft Word at least.
What do you do with those Chromebooks from Engage 3D?
They're using them at the camp right now.
They're yeah.
Nice.
But those come with, you can do spreadsheet software and word processing software. They're like $200 a laptop.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I think, I think we'll need to find our sort of space in that kind of technology education part, because we have fairly limited time with each student, but we do come into their classrooms at least once a month and have all right, it's job skills time, I think at least exposure to these are the things you actually need to know in the workplace. You should actually know how to use PowerPoint, Excel, Word, and then some web applications might be a good time.
What's your level of engagement with students? You go in, once a month, talk to a classroom. Do you spend any time one-on-one with them? And when you're in there in the classroom, how interested are they in the job skills that you're teaching?
It varies, but they do opt into our class. So I found that our students are pretty engaged students, and we try to make other engagement opportunities happen. We've been working to make that happen better out in places like Bledsoe County, which is up above Sequatchie, way out there. In Hamilton, it's really easy. We can like meet them at the Y or at the Career Center here, and be like, all right, one-on-one, let's write you a resume. Let's have a good conversation about what your goals are, and then how we can do it. So I've got a few students who I've just been like all in on trying to help them explore their goals. Out in the outer counties, that's a little harder. But it's usually like in a classroom setting once a month, and then a few other times through the month, one-on-one. So that's the goal anyway.
So do you actually find the kids through the school system? Is that
Mostly, it's through the school system and through the career centers. So there'll also be somebody might come into the career center, wanting job search services or something. And if they're in 17 to 21, they'll kind of get referred to us for the youth program, so they can kind of be cared for and served in a little more intensive way rather than just here to search for a job.
Is there like an application program?
There is, yeah. They go through, so it's means tested. So if they're on food stamps or something, they apply, they get in. But other than that, they kind of have to submit some income information from their family and go through kind of an interview process and recruitment.
Is it all, it's all like state of Tennessee grants?
A lot of it's actually federally funded, so it's through the Workforce Investment Act, which was a mid-90s Clinton era bill that funds the career centers and also provides some youth services funding. So that's where the career centers then subcontracted to us to provide all these kind of soft skills training, mentoring sides of their program. Cool. Which is awesome. We get to kind of be their little brother or partner and hang out with the kids and try to meet their needs as best we can.
That's cool. Yay, click.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one of the big things that I've seen, like we just like TED Talks, some stuff like grit and tenacity. And I think that with the kids, it just, I think really just being okay with failure. I think that's the big thing. It's like trying stuff that's hard.
I think inner city kids are okay with failure. I think it's
Well.
Yeah, but like sticking with it and not just giving up.
Right, trying something that instead of not trying.
Yeah.
Like one of my friends that's a teacher said the biggest problem that they have is when they put a problem on the board, the kids look at it, if they don't get it right away, they just sit there and wait for the answer.
Right.
They wait for the teacher to look at it. They will not push through and get a wrong answer. They'd rather just, I don't get it, I'll just sit here and wait.
Yeah, they're not going to be developers.
So that would be something that would be developing that. And that's I don't know if you, like in the 70s they did the marshmallow experiment.
Oh yeah.
The 4-year-olds, and they put one marshmallow on the table and the guy said, look, you can eat this marshmallow right now. Or you can wait until I come back and you'll get 2 marshmallows. And that delayed gratification, if they could wait until the person came back, they track those kids 20 years later, and the ones that delayed the gratification were so much more successful. So however you could work that into those kids' lives, that is just so much more important than the immediate.
Yeah.
That's a good question. How much of that's innate and how much of that?
Yeah.
Because I would think.
I think it's both.
Yeah, I think it's both. Because I bet there are kids that are born into a bad situation, but they've just got what it takes, and they're going to the library or wherever, and they're making it happen. And that's going to hold them back. And others, they could be coming out of a mansion and millions of dollars.
Oh yeah.
And they just
Be a train wreck.
Or I'm gonna not train wreck.
That might be more.
Yeah.
Sometimes a literal train wreck.
Yeah.
Can afford it.
Could be. I've been doing a little research into some of that, and It's interesting. There is research that indicates that you can teach some of these things, that your life experiences can increase like your level of conscientiousness or self-motivation, which kind of goes into that.
That's interesting.
The preschool phase is really important.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
like
Early
really-
education is huge.
Yeah, I mean, there have been really incredible similar studies
Right.
that were like very long term and looked at like which, they had a sample group of kids that went to preschool and a sample group of kids that didn't. And they
Yeah.
just went to public school. And the sample group that went to preschool, it was crazy. I mean, they were like half as likely to have been in jail by the time they were like 25. They were like 2 or 3 times as likely to have a job.
Some of that's correlation, but
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
like
There have been
kids
great
that are
studies,
enrolled
though.
in preschool.
Oh, no. It was the
Oh,
sample
from they
group.
adjusted for economic background.
It was the same,
Yeah,
it
I
was
think
the
it's-
same
Yeah.
socioeconomic
Yeah,
group that they used for the study.
yeah.
They literally paid for some of them to go to preschool
Some of them
and
not
then
to.
tracked them for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kansas now has gotten into that. And preschool is offered to any child.
Yeah.
So I think that's.
And I
I mean,
mean,
it's
even
not-
here, you get it at like 4
Yeah.
in the state of Tennessee, so it's like a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Washington DC goes down to 3, I think Oklahoma goes down to 3 for public preschool.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are looking at that as a way to kind of get a head start with what you guys are doing in terms of those soft skills. How do you work with other people and
Yeah, it's huge.
So what, you've done it for a couple of years now. What's it like? I mean, what are you guys seeing results wise? Are people getting to college and dropping out? Where are the kids? Do you have them like on a racetrack or something? And some of them finishing up, they crossing the line with their hands up?
I think we don't know. I think our data hasn't been great. So that's another thing that I'm seeing. So I came on about 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay.
So I haven't been here for the arc of the program, but we don't have like program-wide data, which is our first problem. But
Is this working? We don't know.
yeah, we're not sure.
What are some of the examples of placements and some anecdotal things you've seen?
Yeah, I mean we've seen great examples of kids who are on track, who've done summer work and now are in Chat State and they're like doing great. We've got so all summer they were all working at we had a kid at the Chamber of Commerce. We had some at different nonprofits over the inner city, the Y, different places. And we've got great motivated kids going through that program. And we've got kids now who have kind of graduated our program who are now graduating Chat State, which is great. So we've got like our kind of shining examples. I think we don't know much about those who exited early maybe from our program, or those who just sort of graduated and then didn't contact us again, so we have that problem that they might just kind of wander off into the ether. But I think fortunately we do have a great population of sort of opted in youth, which is great. So the ones who come to us, obviously it's hard to divide what we did versus what they would have done anyway, because if you're smart enough to take advantage of a career program that is being offered to you, you might already be like ready, But we're able to just kind of be that contact point and be like, all right, so let me help you meet a biologist, which is what I did, which is fun. So yeah, I think we don't know. I think we're not sure how to invest and measure in this stuff at this stage of their development. So, like the research on preschool is great.
You should have been in preschool.
They're 17. Yeah. But some of that same kind of research on soft skills has shown changes due to people's experience. So what we would like to do is, maybe it's too late for a classroom. You need to be conscientious. Maybe that message might not filter through, but if it's embedded in an experience that people are having, where you have a summer job and you successfully complete it, successfully completed accomplishments tend to reinforce. So like I was saying earlier, with like work makes you more makes you more emotionally stable, which makes you more employable. So hopefully we can invest in that life experience that will kind of instill that sort of those character traits that make them more employable. But I think we're still kind of exploring that. In my estimation, we need to do better at making soft skills training more of an achievement that you get through. Here is a challenge, and if you can kind of measurably complete it, then it looks like you've done something. If we're talking about interpersonal skills, can we make an experience that's going to invest in your interpersonal skills, where you do something as a group, like as Steph said, where you're challenged to go and talk to people outside of your normal network or that sort of thing. So what I've been doing has been to really try to get kids outside of their comfort zone, talk to a clinical psychologist if they say that they're interested in psychology, and to sort of step out and have that experience, and hopefully that'll provide an experience that will kind of change the way they think about their interpersonal skills. But that's our goal. It's kind of evolving at this point. So some things I've heard you guys saying though were things like prioritizing is important, those interpersonal skills are important. What else are we talking about?
Time management.
Time management, yeah, absolutely. And use of technology. Yeah, those are all huge.
Do you have any needs from us as the group?
I would appreciate it if any of you all are interested and want to talk to me one-on-one, and you have any ideas or input, let me know. If you want to invest in a youth, if you want to let them shadow you and learn what you do someday, if I have a youth who's interested in your career field, I would love to send them to you. So we've got some great young people who might be interested in your field.
What's the age range?
Let me know. What's that?
What's the age range?
17 to 21. Yeah.
Already paid interns.
Yeah. We can have some are interns your way. Subject obviously to kind of approval by the feds and stuff, but yeah.
And
So
it's 2 months each summer?
yeah.